Can you hear me now? Okay, I'm sorry. I had that speaker thingy plugged in. Thank you. Let's start this again. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. um, there's a young lady. Her name is Pam. Her YouTube channel is called A View is a View. Now, she just got out of the hospital. I was just watching her video moments ago. She is on medication for her condition. She's not stating what the condition is. She's not ready to share that, and I respect that. I think she said eventually she will share what she's going through. Apparently, she's been going through this for some time, but it is now that I think she had to go into the emergency room. And so today, she finally shared that she's dealing with something. So please keep Miss Pam from the channel A View is a View. I have known her since the beginning, 2013. She's been through a bunch of different things. On her channel, she does chit chat. She'll do live. She'll do makeup, wigs, just all kinds of different things. She's a very matter-of-fact, real kind of person, and she just speaks her mind. Anyways, please keep Miss Pam in prayer. And Caleb, how you doing, honey? Sapria's plus-size fashion designer. Sabria's, please keep Min Pam. You know who Min Pam is in prayer. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so very much. I appreciate that. I was just going to come in for a little bit. I almost wasn't going to come in. I don't know why. Same thing. I get ready. I get myself all ready. And then I feel like this wall comes up. So anyways, I go into the Dollar Tree. I want to start filming videos like I used to, and I go to the cashier who sends me to the manager. They will not allow me here to film, but he whispers to me, the cashier does, after the manager said no. He says, come in later in the evening when such and so is in. She'll let you film. So we'll see how that goes. What have I been feeling today? I've been I want to get my mind together. I've been missing the South. I've been missing the South. Thank you. Basically, the hair will lie flat if I wash it. I had a wash-a-thon, I took some extra care into doing the girl thing. You know what I mean? Just doing what was necessary. So that's why the hair is laid a little bit flatter today. I really, really made an effort, It's kind of funny. You can look good but feel a different set way. I'm not gonna be I can't even talk right now. I am not gonna be sitting here with a poo-poo face, with a poo-poo attitude. Not when I know the king of the universe loves me so much and loves you so much. So I told you about Miss Min Pam of A View is a View. I told you about the Dollar Tree. And as far as AdSense is concerned, I believe that I will be getting paid in about 4 days. You want to talk about right on time? Right on time. Because Grandma doesn't get paid until Friday. And I have a few things, I have a few bills I need to pay. I got my electric and I got my internet. I bought this and I've always wanted to show it to you. You know how you have the warmers, you put your soda in? I thought that was very interesting. My boss told me to have a good day. So I went home. I've been meaning to bring this into work. They had a bunch of them last year, and I should have gotten a bunch of these. I have not seen them since. They went rather quickly. I think there was a bunch of us dealing. Yeah. No particular subject matter. I've been watching a lot of videos and taking care of just my house stuff, you know. Yes, Miss Fancy is in the building. Hold on. Let's see what happens. Notice as I start to turn it towards her, she'll turn. Hey, Fancy. Fancy. Both her eyes are equally cloudy. The redness that was in the back of one of her eyes has dissipated. But they do look cloudy. And I think that her sight is improving. Thank y'all for praying for my kitty cat. I don't know what's going to happen here, but she's making her way around just fine. She's making her way around just fine. I don't know. I know that our pets don't live forever, but quite frankly, I want her to live for 30 years. If you take really good care, I got a yogurt. The Danimals from the Dollar Tree. Strawberry. But if you take really good care of them, a cat can live over 20 years. I call my younger sister Carmen the Cat Whisperer because she doesn't have any now, but every cat that she owned lived over 20 years. She took very good care of them. She's really good with them. I'm fair. I think I do okay. It's hard to get at her nails to trim them. It's a wrestling match. I do one or two at a time because she'll try to jump me, bite me. She does not like her paws being touched. Pardon me as I eat yogurt. My tummy's doing a few flip-flops. I showed you that I bought the lemon juice in the little lemon-shaped container. The ones that are at the produce section. And I bought the lime one as well. Because that kind of thing can cut through what's in your tummy. And not to be graphic or gross, but there can be a mucus in your tummy. There can be. It's very unpleasant. It's from sugar, consuming too much sugar. And there's certain set bacteria that isn't good. And it feeds, I forget what it's called, but it feeds off of sugar. And a solution to that is not only ginger and ginger tea, but it is lemon and lime. I like to combine them together. Either or, I combine them together with the filtered water. So for 3 or 4 days, I have been drinking the lemon lime filtered water, and it's done like a 180. Tummy has done a 180. Medicines and doctors are wonderful, and we're blessed to have them. But sometimes you go to those old-fashioned remedies for simple set things. Hi, Truly, Tracy, and Stephanie, Nicole. K.E. Rose, honey, it's been a while since I've seen you. I hope you're okay. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you, Jacob. I hope so, too. Let's see. My partner in crime. Boo-boo, I don't know if you realize it, but you are a YouTube superstar. Yes, you are. She's completely black. I call her my lucky black cat. With the exception right about here, right about there, there are probably 4 or 5 little white hairs. And she's starting to get a little bit of white because she's getting older, just very few hairs that are white. But I happen to love my freaking cat. I say that I love my freaking cat. It's just her and me. She and I. I don't know which one she is. I don't know if she's Thelma or Louise. But I know one thing. I'm driving the red car. I will not let her drive. I'm sorry I'm so slow. I'm sorry. I just feel, at the very beginning, there's a fight to turn that on. There's a fight, a wrestling match, because perhaps within my words there will be some words that will help somebody. And I often say, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I'm very I don't know. I'm trying not to be melancholy. I cannot discuss my family. Not really, not a lot about it. So I gotta zip it on that. I gotta do things in a slick, roundabout way. But you know what? It's called Over 50 and Fantabulous. It's not called Jessica or Alan or Emma or Alan the Third. So sometimes a grandma, needs to hush and be very careful. And I understand that. I kept telling him that he needs to start his own YouTube channel. He has a wonderful sense of humor. And like I said, he can get along with and talk with anyone. When he was a baby and when I knew I had to go back to work, I waited until he could speak full sentences, just in case there was a naughty babysitter that wasn't being quite right. He could talk to me. I babysat myself. I babysat other people's children for a bit of a while. That's how I earned my income when he was a baby. I probably had about 8 kids, including a pre-toddler that I was babysitting for. And that's how I earned my income during that station in life, let's just say. And I enjoyed it. There was one lady that was a manager, and she would literally get her child out of the crib and bring him to me with that morning diaper. That's just how it was, and it was fine. And I would get him in, and he would be upset. She would crouch down near him and just look him in the eye and stroke his face. And then he would calm down, and she said, "Is it okay?" And he would say, "Okay." And then she would leave and go to work. I would take him out of the diaper, give him a bath, give him breakfast, give him lunch and snacks just before supper time. She's a very, very kind woman. She really loved her son, but she was a very busy person. And I do believe she was a single mom trying to do 80 things. And I respected her work ethic. Everybody's going through something, and it's rough and tough when you have kids and you have to work. You got to do it, and it's a heart-wrenching thing to drop your child off to someone. Yes. Covert Yankee, how you doing? Covert Yankee says, I stopped drinking soda years ago. I keep lime juice and drink it in water or club soda. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I could have bought some soda this time around, but I did not on purpose. The club soda, I was starting to think that I could flavor it with juice, We could just try to work our way around that. It some things that are inexpensive. You ever notice that to the masses, for all of us that can, all the affordable things are kind of bad for us? And if you think about the water, we all know that the tap water is in really terrible shape. If you ever see a meeting with senators, with celebrities, you notice they're not drinking tap water. There's always bottled water. If you watch the TED Talks, and there's a few people sitting around with the little tables and things, there's the bottled water. What does that tell you? I also want to get back into I used to, talking about toothpaste and deodorant. I want to get back to the Tom's Natural without the fluoride. I want to get back into getting that. These are the things I used to do. But, we're just taking our steps and getting better and better and better. So this shopping trip, it'll be a lot better, where I can go ahead and start buying the things that I used to. Y'all know how it goes. You start a new job, you're in a new place, you're doing what you got to do, you're setting your priorities. You're setting your priorities. Your rent and your electric and things like that, they come first. All the other stuff that you enjoy, shove them to the side and do what you got to do and just keep it moving. Miss Fancy Jacob, I believe I've guesstimated her age to be about 10. She's about 10. Oh, you fell asleep listening to me last night, Covert Yankee? That's a good thing. I often say, what I got to do is, when I flip that camera on, I need to say throughout the talk, from the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, come in for a moment or moments, stay if you choose. It does not, either way, it doesn't bother me. I noticed it really doesn't matter to me as far as I'm very happy. Oh, how do I put this? I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I'm saying 10,000 things to try to make a point. Hi, Jose Lopez. I know who Demi Lovato is, and it's funny. I was watching the videos. You know how they'll have the fan videos? There's fan videos where the star, the singer, will put the microphone to the audience or bring a person on stage and allow them to sing. And sometimes they're shocked at the members of their audience that can sing so good. So I just watched the one with Ariana Grande. She had this fan, it was backstage, and in the fan, a male was singing to her. So yes, I've heard Demi Lovato, and I have heard Ariana Grande. They're two birds of a different flock. I don't know how to describe it. Demi Lovato, to me, is more experienced. Ariana Grande is young, very young. She can sing really well. She's an excellent singer. If you're asking me to choose which one I would prefer, perhaps because I'm an old lady, not saying that Demi Lovato is older, I would prefer Demi Lovato over Ariana Grande, because Demi Lovato sings with such depth and emotion. I don't know much about Ariana Grande. A deep respect for her talent. She's a beautiful young girl. She sings quite well. What makes you want to ask about Demi Lovato, Jose? Okay, let me see. Do you think Demi Lovato is a much better singer than Ariana Grande? Was a question. Yeah. Have you heard? I think it's called Stone Cold. Hi, Lolu. Lolu, oh, come, oh, Grandma, give you the pat hug. I know it's very late. 3 hours ago, I had everything set up, but I just couldn't do it. Please, I don't know what that is. If y'all can pray for whatever barrier that is, I think in the back of my mind that I will lack conversation. I will lack depth. Hello to the 15 of you that are here. Thank you for the 5 thumbs up. The last 2 videos, the last video I got 5 thumbs down, and the last one I got 4 thumbs down. And I kind of know who that is. It's all good because a thumbs down or a thumbs up is kind of counted the same in the YouTube algorithm from what I'm understanding, because it's considered interaction. You notice people, I know a lot of people, famous YouTubers, not this old lady with her little channel, her tiny itty bitty channel. I'm like an ant, and we have huge YouTubers. But anyways, I digress. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get too much into that, but I am very excited that let's see, was last year that I got paid by YouTube, and I told y'all I was at $90, and then because of your generosity, that brought it up to where I'll be collecting. I think you collect on the 15th of the month, on the 15th. And what else I want to say about AdSense is something else. It's different now. I think you have to have 10,000 views or something, and a 10,000 views in order for you to monetize your videos. I think that's what it is now. I think that's fine to do, and I do it. It does help me when, once a year, maybe I'll get paid, something like that. And it always seems to come right on time. Thank you so very much for your kindness and your generosity. You just don't know what you're doing for me this week, right on time. I'm telling you now. Thank you so very much. That took me up and over. And I want to get the proper term for what I'm trying to say. Okay. It's a limit, but I can't think of the word. It's in $100 increments. When you reach $100, and if it's before the 15th, you will get paid. Okay, I'm going to X out of here. I can't think of the term. The threshold. It's your threshold. Okay, I don't want to sound negative, but I hope Facebook crashes and burns. Too bad YouTube isn't what it used to be. Yeah, I am on Facebook, and the reason why I am is because of the message area. If I'll just say it this way. If someone that I love, I'm just going to say it this way, okay? If someone I love, their phone is shut off, I can use the messenger to communicate with people, let's just say. Y'all feeling me? Yeah, they say that the Facebook, obviously, okay, you have somebody a person that committed some sort of a crime, right? They go on there. You've seen these stories. They go on there. They've stolen some money or some stuff or whatever. They go on there. I don't mean to laugh about it, but they go on there with the money fanned out, or they're waving the money or whatever. Guess who's looking at your Facebook profile? Yeah, that would be the Popo and the FBI and everybody else. You got to be very careful what you post on public media. If you're on the run and got a bragger and you're young, Okay, if you're a young knucklehead, let's just say I've been a young knucklehead in the past. Heck, I've been an old knucklehead. And you're got a braggadocious or a braggart kind of personality, and you want to post something to Facebook, come on now. And they say that Mr. Zuckerberg made a little deal with the government or whatever. I'm not quite sure of the details of that, so I don't want to say too much. I don't want to be all ignorant in what I say. But what you talk about on any public forum, they say allegedly with your cell phone, of course you can be tracked with your cell phone, right? Even when it's shut off, allegedly. What do you all think about that? Do you think that's true? Okay, Covert Yankee says, I closed all accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just something about so much information being shared bothers me. I just decided to get off. Understood. I mean, I've got the Facebook for the reason that I mentioned. I am. Let me see. What else? Am I on anything else? I'm on Twitter. Yes, I'm on Twitter. I think it's over 50 and fantabulous on there. The picture is a picture of me when I was young, very young on there. And there for the very same reason. If I can't reach the persons that I love because of their situation, I can go to those things and communicate. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I think that's about it. I went onto Twitter to Corey Feldman. I don't know if you know who that actor is. They called them the two Coreys. The one Corey, I think, died of a drug overdose or something. I can't quite remember. And they were friends coming up, youngsters coming up in the movie business. And Corey Feldman was talking about Hollywood and the pedophilia in Hollywood. He was talking about that, and he was talking about the abuse that he and others had suffered as a result of this. I'm sorry to talk about something depressing, but he had talked about it. You can look up his name on YouTube, Corey Feldman, and you'll see, that he had discussed some of the horrible things that he had gone through as a child. And I went on and I found him, and I told him that I would be praying for him. Yes, I did. I think that Mr. Feldman is a believer, The other person, it's going to sound kind of crazy. Hi, Gail 2020. Hi, Martha. Martha Howard. Yeah, once you start blah blahing about the truth and the filth of Hollywood, we could all go into we all can go into a conversation now. You have your conspiracy theorists. This is true, okay? Conspiracy theorists will make stuff up for views. Can we be real about this today? Can we be real about this today? They would love to gossip and make up stuff about people. Does this some juicy gossip, whatever. But I'm inclined to believe Mr. Feldman. I'm inclined to believe and I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. But he's a human being. And I just felt in my heart to do that. The other person you're going to think I'm insane is what's that famous actor? Oh, goodness gracious. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is, how do I put this? He was on a few different shows, and Mr. Carrey went on and he was, doing all these different signs, all the different signs that these people do. I'll be quiet about this in a minute because I know to some of you this is ridiculous and unpleasant. I apologize for that. And so he says he was telling the host, so you know what this sign means. Come on, you know what that sign means. And it's kind of like, I think he's had it up to here with some of the things that he has to do to stay up there. Sorry, my hair is sticking out weird. I think that he's finally grown weary of Hollywood. And allegedly he has, a lot of different properties, and he's at this one property, and he does these, he paints. A lot of his paintings are kind of disturbing, but anywho, I think that he's going through a pull. I think he's being pulled. I've heard of Alex Jones. I've watched some of him. Oh yeah, I know that he probably did. A covert Yankee. He probably was amongst those that did. I think that he's going through a little tug. Now, I don't know how they can come out of that once they sell it. A lot of people don't believe that they do. I happen to believe that if you're making $20 million a picture, we talked about this the last time, there's a lot that you have to do to get all those goodies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a lot that you have to do. It's a heinous, horrible. Some of the things. It's a heinous, horrible thing. It's a heinous, horrible club that some of these people belong to. I'm thinking, call me nutto. Let me put this on. Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible if they did something like that they could repent even if they lose their life and make it into the kingdom, Covert Yankee? What do you think about that? If they dropped on their faces and just repented, do you think it's possible? Because I've heard of these people, some on CBN, that have gotten into satanic worship and things like this. And they were pretty much they were drugged through pretty bad. They didn't, they gave over to it, or they got into witchcraft and all these other different things. And they turned their lives around. Oh, once you sell it, you think it's gone? I don't know. I think that the witchcraft thing, and if a person is tempted very young into something very demonic and stuff like that, I think you can come back from that. But the selling of it, I don't know. But from what you're describing, it sounds pretty true. But I'm always hoping that the master and the king of the universe has a sliver's width of a door, that even if it takes for the person to confess and tell all, they have to tell all. They may lose their life for it, but they have to tell all. I've always been of the thought, I may be dead and gone off the planet, but I've always had a feeling in the back, just somewhere in the back of my mind, that one of these famous people is going to come out not caring about their life, and they're going to tell everything. See, we get bits and pieces from people who were given an opportunity to join the club, if you will, the club, the $10 million club, the let's go to the secret parties and do yucky stuff club. And they've turned their backs and said no, and you never really hear from them. They go to a very tiny venues and make $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year doing local plays, or just simply leaving that business altogether and getting into something different. And they, the one person that was in music said that there's, I think, 2 or 3 doors. There's the one door where you go in and you sign, You sign on with them. Then there's the other door where you can go out on your own with your own skills. And the third door is go out the door and leave and don't come back. You got 3. Understood, Covert Yankee, about the Yall. No, I'm not trying. Yeah, I agree, Gail. I think that there, I think that there is hope. I think that there is hope because if you turn with sincerity, and you're willing, there's been a couple of commentators, this is their opinion, that have said you have to tell all. If you wanted to make it into the kingdom after doing some certain set things, you must confess and tell all for the sake of the next group of youngsters, the next group of 17 and 18 year old innocents that come into that, come into Hollywood, and they have this pie in the sky. They have no idea what they're going to have to do in order to make it and to be famous. I can't quite figure out on another group of people. I can't quite figure out how the Kardashians are famous. Can you? I just have never quite understood, how they're famous. And I find them very spooky in that you'll have the older Kardashian sister. I don't know if it's Kim or whatever, right? Then you got the young one. I can't think of the young one. Is the young one Chloe? There's a very young one. So you see these before and after pictures after, they've had plastic surgery. Come on, you see the before and after photographs, right? And I look at the before photographs and I think they're beautiful. And so they morph themselves. They morph themselves by doing the lips, doing this, and doing their rear ends, and doing all these things to look like a mannequin, to look like some sort of a mannequin or something, to look like what they think men will desire, and to look a certain set way. Then you got these teen children that are 12 and 13 that are looking up to that and not realize they're looking at I can't think of the word. They're looking at something that isn't real. They're looking at something that isn't real. And one of them had a bunch of makeup or something. One of them has a makeup line that's doing quite well. And the brushes from the makeup line, the brush set is in the hundreds of dollars for a brush set. I can go over to the Dollar Tree, excuse me. But anyways, I digress. Martha Howard, they do look plastic. I mean, I'm sitting here with my, as you know, see my grays coming through, with my $2.97 hair dye job, and I've got some makeup on. I'm trying to look neat and presentable, right? I think that's one thing. I think that's one thing. But when you go in and you just kind of, your face, it doesn't look like you. I won't lie, I wouldn't mind having my neck be a little bit smooth and this lifted a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I would not mind having that done. I'm talking about something incremental like that. That's it. But to look like a totally different person, it's kind of weird to me. You don't look like yourself. Yes, Covert Yankee. There used to be where they would have, there would be a gift. An actor or actress in a certain movie scene of a movie of depth, right? It would bring you to tears. It would, excuse me, it would bring you to tears. So yeah, I watch all kinds of videos, and sometimes I go back. I have to go back sometimes to 1940. I was trying to figure out why I am the way I am with my big earrings and my lipstick and stuff like this, and I started to think about it when I was a child and what influenced me. And we talked about it before, television programming, right? My mother would go to bed. It would be a Saturday night, and I would sneak up and I would get real close, inches from the television, and I'd turn it on. And then I'd turn the brightness kind of to make it dark so it wouldn't be so bright. And then I would watch movies. I would watch Ann Miller. I would watch Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. I would watch the kind of movies where they had the little club scenes and they had individual tables with tiny little lamps on them. And the ladies would come in wearing long skirts, and they would have like a fur or stole. Remember, they called it a mink instead of a wrap. They called it a mink stole. And the ladies would come in, and the gentlemen would have on, suits. And when a lady came to the table, they would stand up. All of them would stand up, and one gentleman would pull the chair out for her. She would have on a polka dot suit, jacket, and long skirt just above her ankle, heels, and a small clutch purse to match. And I fell in love with that. You see? So, okay, I'm influenced by that as a youngster, just watching, the very feminine clothing, long flowing skirts, the brows done a certain set way, lipstick, this, nails and lips and toes matching. That's what I, grew up with. Yeah, Ann Miller was a tap dancer. Just as good as, just about as, she was really, really good. Yes, elegant, not trashy. Oh, Grandmother Ann, the Kardashians are these, they're a group of sisters, and I think there's a brother. There's a brother. And their father, Mr. Kardashian, I don't know, and mother married, and they had kids, and they started a reality TV show or something, It's not reality. But they're just a group of gals that, what I had just described earlier. I don't want to repeat. Yeah, I remember Ann Miller. I remember Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. There was a gangster type guy, George Raft. Just a lot of them I used to watch as a child, And then I love Sidney Poitier. Mr. Sidney. I remember what was that movie where he was a teacher and there was a bunch of smart aleck kids? It was kind of London based, I think. To Sir with Love. To Sir with Love. The other actress, oh, Breakfast at Tiffany's. The actress on Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yes, the men. Yes, To Sir with Love. And they got him a gift. I think it was a coffee mug or whatever, but there was, I forget the scene that had me crying like a freaking baby. I just love movies, and if it's gonna be a song or something, it's got to travel me. Audrey Hepburn exemplified, in my humble opinion, what a true lady is. You know, I kind of miss that. Now, I don't sit there and just close myself off to everything. There are some young actresses and actors that are really good, you know. I think that Denzel Washington is a wonderful actor. I don't know if he's in The Club or anything. I think there's a lot of other actors that are very good. But sometimes they have these people that come in. They come in like you have The Rock. I love The Rock. I love his personality. He seems to be a very nice person. But he come in from the wrestling circuit, and now he does all these comedy. And then you have from the comedy genre as well, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. I'm just gonna tell y'all, I don't know if y'all know who Kevin Hart is. I just don't think he's really that funny. I think he's funny in the acting, but his stand-up, I just don't find it to be that funny. Now that's just me. I'm probably gonna get a bunch of stones tossed at me. I think George Carlin was funny, but George Carlin, he didn't believe. He was very smart, and some of the things that he said were true. Where he talked about the government, that was true, but he didn't believe. I was watching a video, and then all of a sudden he starts talking about the Father. He starts talking about God, and I turned it off, and I never went back. I never went back. I just couldn't. But up to that point, he was making some good points. Sorry about eating in front of you. I just needed a little something. Yeah. Jimmy Stewart. Lolu, thank you very much. I still watch it. What's the movie? I actually went to that bridge. Frank Capra was the director of that movie. What was the Christmas movie? Where the angel came down and he says, okay, you no longer exist in that scene. It's a Wonderful Life, yes. Me and my ex-husband, we used to live in upstate New York, and we went to the bridge. There's a real bridge. Yes, there is. And it is in upstate New York. And as a matter of fact, they have a sign up there that says that this is the bridge that inspired it. I think it's in his hometown. Yes. Give me a moment. Hold on. Just give me a second. Oops. Hold on a second. Seneca Falls, New York. Seneca Falls, New York. Just one moment. Yep, this is the bridge that I went to. The George Bailey Bridge supposedly inspired the whole Jimmy Stewart jumping off the bridge plot thread in the famous 1946 Christmas film Bronze Plaque testified to its cultural importance. Oh, yes, indeed. I wish I had the skills and I had the software that I could put things up. But the software is kind of pricey. That's why my videos, if you will, are kind of boring, if you will. Give me a moment, please. Yes, it is Seneca Falls, New York. That's in upstate New York. And I was watching an interview with Billy Joel recently, and he announces that he's an atheist. I don't understand why they feel the need to say that. What SNL? I don't know. What skit, Gail? Oh, was he on you? Are you still you're talking about Kevin Hart? I know there was a skit on Saturday Night Live. He put on the dress. Oh, okay. I see now, Gail. Are you serious? He made some weird and inappropriate jokes on Saturday Night Live about child molestation. What in the heck is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Are you a parent? Sounds like he joined the club, Gail. You know the club. You know that club. I'm telling you. I don't know what the percentage is. Can we conservatively say about 90% of Hollywood, 95% of Hollywood is swirling, and down the drain into hell they go? You know, I don't mean to sound, I don't know how I sound. If y'all think I sound like I'm crazy, if y'all think I'm being judgmental, but just from what we see, this is what we see. Why would you do that? He has, I think his wife is pregnant now. I think he's got another one on the way, if not was born already. And I think he has a daughter. What is wrong with you? Yes, we are I think that we are in the end times. I may be off the planet before the 100-pound rocks come flying from heaven, the size of a talent, the rocks that come down. I may be off this planet. I already talked to my son about this. I talked to my daughter-in-law. Understood, Covert Yankee. The things that are going to happen. But anyways, I did all that I could. I told my son about it. He's been told his whole life about the Lord. Of course, and I told him my feeling. I said, look, I'm just going to tell you what I believe. He's a man now. He has that free moral agency as our friends and family, our relatives. And I said, it's your duty to share with your children or whatever, but you can't tell a grown man what to do. Those are his and Jessica's children. You know what I mean? And what I do is you step off to the side. I try to mind my own business. I don't try to meddle. I just know that I have a duty to share I have a duty, and I'm instructed to share with my family. And that's all you do. You share and then you pray. You pray. Fast a day or so and you pray and step back. Because just like you had to choose, for those of you that believe, and I had to choose for myself, related to you or not, they have to choose for themselves. And it's a heart-wrenching thing or whatever. But when I've said this before, and y'all know this already, when you face the master from up above, you face him alone for the deeds done in this body. It's not going to be nobody's going to come up and say, oh, yeah, she, Lynn helped me. She fed me. I was about to kill myself and she brought me up out of depression through prayer. She did this and she did that. And Nope. It can't be a bunch of cheerleaders around me. That's not going to get me in. Somebody's opinion or whatever. You face him alone. You don't face him. What I'm trying to say, I'm saying 5,000 words when I should just say one sentence. And I apologize. My menopausal mind can be so goofy at times where I just want to make a point, and I can feel your eyes rolling like this. We face them individually, and we have to give an account for the deeds done in these bodies. What do I say? I've said it before. I'll say it again. What did I think? Where did I go? What did I do? What were my true intentions when I did that? Was I looking for the applause of men when I tried to help somebody? Or was I sincerely in love, just wanting to? Yes. Yeah, I've heard that Hollywood statement. Thank you, Lolu. Thank you very much. Yeah, doesn't it talk about that in the book of Revelation? Father against son, mother against daughter. You're going to see some things, we'll be shocked at some of our family members that'll say, blank you, I don't want anything. All of a sudden, if they're unsaved, or they were on the fence, you did the best that you could, and they didn't want to accept. Have a family member or a close friend, a person that was friends with you for 10 or 15 years, turn around and say, blank you, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to hear anything about that. People all just turning their back on you. And some of us, we're going to be alone. And this journey, sometimes it can be a tearful and painful journey, in that the ones that we love, they will not accept the Lord Jesus Christ. They will not accept Yeshua HaMashiach as their personal Savior. But guess what? You witness to somebody. If they reject, you keep it moving. What did the Master say to the disciples if they went to a town, to share the word, and the town rejected them? He said, shake the dust off your shoes. In their case, the sandals. Shake the dust off your shoes and just go on over to the next one. That's the same holds true for us. I remember I was working this one job. Oh my goodness, it was very interesting there. I left that job, my last day or whatever, there was a layoff. I literally stopped my car. There was the entrance and exit area. I stopped. I went to leave on my last day. We had our last meeting or everything, talking about the little bit of benefits that, the pay that we would get at the very end, so on and so forth. I pulled up, I stopped my car, I opened the door, I took off my sandals. I am not joking around. And I went like that. I just went and took the dust off my shoes for a lot of the rejection, a lot of the pain. A lot of the nastiness. Some people were very cruel to me. I went like that. I put on my shoes and drove down the road with a big old smile on my face. Yes, I did. I did that. Y'all probably think y'all probably looking at me like there's another head on my shoulders. Just a moment. Okay. Miss Lolu, thank you so very much for letting me know. Heavenly Father, I pray in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know what Miss Lolu's son is going through, but I pray that you bring him the healing that is required, whether it is a physical healing, a spiritual healing, something in his mind. Please bring complete healing to him, and bring him comfort, and bring him strength. Strengthen Miss Lolu as well. To send your encouragement to her. Goodness gracious, Father. Bring complete healing, Lord. Bring complete comfort, Father. In the name of Jesus Christ, we all do pray and come in agreement. Amen? For goodness sakes. I know that I was telling you about Min Pam. She is from A View is a View, to keep her in prayer as well. And also, for goodness sakes, my mind is drawing a blank. The name is drawing a blank. For Mr. Caleb. Caleb that comes in here and he monitors. He's like a monitor on here for his family member. Let's keep Caleb's family member. He says it's a close relative. Let's keep him in prayer. And any of you, I have been, when I'm off of here, doing that, you know. I said this yesterday, that I'm glad I'm in here by myself. I'm glad I'm in here by myself and I can really be myself and really pray the way that I like to, you know. Have you ever been in the middle of something? You're just doing something ordinary in your house, in your apartment, or in your condo, or wherever it is you're living. You're cooking or you're cleaning, and all of a sudden you feel a sense to get down and just pray. All of a sudden, just something just kind of smacks you, and you just stop. When I was in Carolina, man, I would do that a lot. And I don't know how that sounds to you. If I sound like I'm being obsessive or whatever, but if a relative or one of you came into my mind out of left field, I wasn't thinking about you, I was just doing something else, tending to something, and you came to my mind, I would just drop everything and stop and just start to pray. I'm not trying to act like, oh, look at me, I'm so holy. I'm just telling you what I do, you know? Didn't he say to pray always? You know? I'm sorry if this is boring, my friends. I know y'all, some of y'all don't like when I say that, but sometimes I get very self-conscious about it. But I got to be very careful because the enemy is busy trying to discourage me in my mind. I refuse to be discouraged. I just keep going. Hi, 22 of you. I just say this. Somebody somewhere always needs prayer. Somebody somewhere always needs to be encouraged. You'd be surprised at the amount of people that are silently suffering. They aren't saying anything. Some of them are embarrassed to say anything because maybe it's a subject matter they're kind of embarrassed about. You don't have to be embarrassed with me. I'll tell you right now. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've thought. We have a very understanding Father. I got a newsflash for you. We aren't shocking him by the things in our past that we thought. All of a sudden saying we're saved and we got mad and just blurted out things we shouldn't. He's not shocked. He does realize that we're still in this dust coat. It's kind of like we're like this whole thing's a big coat. And there's a zipper, and all of a sudden that zipper's going to crack and the real you's going to pop out. The powerful part of you will pop out. That spirit. It says those that must worship him in spirit and in truth. And so I've often described it as, how some folks, I used to work out. I used to work out a lot. I used to be in better shape, but anyways. So you're working out your body, you're trying to get firm, you're trying to stay healthy, and by golly, you're in great shape, you're looking really good, whatever, right? You feel physically strong. Well, same holds true for your spirit. Your spirit's got to get a workout so it can be strengthened against the wiles and the deception of that devil. Just coming in and hitting you left and right. And he's full of ideas. I've often found that I keep thinking that I've got it all figured out. Isn't that stupid? Oh, yeah, I got that enemy all figured out. I know every which way he's going to come at me. I know that he knows that would make me mad. He knows that temptation would bother me. He knows that particular person would anger me. He knows that if I buy a pie, I'm going to eat the whole pie. So I got to be very careful. All these different categories, no matter what that is that you deal with every day, or the things of your past that you have dealt with, the old habits that so you think you got it all. He comes up with a new idea, so slick. Here comes something else you weren't expecting. It just pop. It just comes at you. You're like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that. So that's why my spiritual muscles, they're not 100%, but they're not all the way flabby. I gotta keep strengthening those things, Is she here? Raindrops on Roses. I love that name. That's so creative. Pray without ceasing. Exactly. So sometimes I'm saying these things to y'all and I'm thinking, like I said, you're back here like, I'm trying to be you, right? You're like, really? Really, old lady? Really? Is that? Oh, come on, you're nuts. But I told you before, I just come like a little baby, and as a child, having the hot flash of my life right now. But anyways, yeah, menopause. But anyways, let me stop going back and forth all over the place and calm myself down. So I told y'all yesterday when I saw that scripture in Job, and he referred to Adam and Adam hiding himself, that blew my mind, I've heard preachers say, and I would agree, that it's the living word, that the words are alive. And sometimes you're sitting there and you're reading and you're looking for something within this word. And then there's somebody over, you're in New York, and there's somebody in Texas, there's somebody in Florida, there's somebody in California, there's somebody in Utah, and you're all reading the same scripture and all with a different situation, and you're all being blessed by the same words for different situations. I find that to be mind-blowing. Is he not the most amazing Savior? He is so brilliant. That's why I love calling him Master, the Master of all. And not only here, in China, in Puerto Rico, you know, in all these different countries. You know, there are some people, I believe they said in China, I actually saw a picture where they are persecuted for being Christians. They're persecuted for believing, and they actually are worshiping together in secret, risking being jailed, risking their lives to worship the master, right? In caves. I saw they had this picture, and there was a group of them in a cave, and they're up with their hands uplifted, praising the Lord. Now, there they are secretly just risking themselves to praise the master. And here we are. You can get you can get Bibles anywhere. You know, you can freely praise. Of course, a lot of us, some people are coming under persecution, and you know that's going to get worse. You all know that. You all are very well read. You understand that. But can you imagine where we have our books and we all kind of look around, we're scared. We got a little light on and we're sitting there quietly trying to read and praise. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back, Covert Yankee. Isn't that something? She lost her internet for a little while. Well, you know what? Sometimes when you're speaking the truth and you're trying to call the enemy out, goofy things happen. I've had that happen where I'm trying to study or I'm trying to pray or do something, and there's all kinds of distractions. Sometimes you'll fall asleep. You're sitting there trying to read. You ever do that? You're sitting there, oh, this is okay. That's it. Let me sit here. I want to go. I want to get these 4 chapters. I want to see what's going on. You know, you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you get tired, and then you put your Bible down. And you go outside and all of a sudden you feel all kinds of energy. Sometimes I think that thing steps in all kinds of different ways. I'm not trying to be all weird or anything, but sometimes. Then a third of the angels come down. He's got lots of help. Little imps all the way up to, I think there's a ranking. Just my humble opinion. I think there's a ranking from very itty bitty little imps, if you will, to out and out raping murderers, if you will. You see these people I don't know why. I heard these voices telling me to stab her 100 times. You know, come on. I think there's a hierarchy or something. Give me a moment. Hold on. Covert Yankee, you said, what'd you say? I'm a guy, you're male? Wait a minute. Pray without ceasing. My inner went down. I guess the devil didn't like me talking about. Hold on. Okay, Covert Yankee, thank you. Thank you for saying that. See, your picture is itty bitty. Can you imagine? I'll just start talking to you about female things. You probably look at me and go, what? Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I am very sorry. Yes, I have fallen asleep. Covert Yankee, I'm very sorry. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, my picture is a robot from my childhood. Oh, Covert Yankee, let me tell you something about. Oh, well, let me show you something. You said a robot. Give me a second. About my grandson and robots. Do y'all know the movie? The movie, it's a children's movie. It's called I, Robot or something, right? I, Robot. I cried. I finally watched one day I finally watched the whole movie. My grandson, and I've told you this before, my son knows that I told you this, so I can say this. He's autistic, right? I mean, he has good communicative skills and everything like that, but you can tell by the way that he repeats you know, and stuff like that, where he has autism, right? He loves that movie. And when we would say, okay, what do you want to watch? Robot, 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 right? So I have to mail this back. I am not even joking. This is his robot. I kid you not. He loves this thing. He loves this thing. And he loves to say, robot fall down. You know, there's a point where the robot falls down in the movie, you know? Yes, I have a few items that were left that I have to box up. I think this is the week I'm finally going to be able to. But this is his favorite. He has other toys that are with them and everything like that. And it actually makes noises and stuff. I will not irritate you with the repetitive noises from this thing. So yes, the minute you said robot, it just, you know, one thing reminds me of the other, which reminds me of the other. Yes, I'm telling you now, Covert Yankee, he would lose his mind. He'd just, you know, on overload, you know, his little hands would be trembling. Seriously. Yeah, you know, I used to collect not toys, um porcelain cows. Porcelain cows until let's just say I got into a disagreement with a former anyways, my little cows came crashing down. I'm just gonna say that and just move on. Yeah, there's I used to collect postage stamps. Yes, I am boring. I used to collect postage stamps and porcelain cows. My mother went through a cow phase, then a chicken phase. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I just love cows. I remember, you know, milking cows will line up automatically to get milked, right? But I'm all ignorant. What do I know? So I'm with Alan's father. We were very young even before Alan was I think I told y'all this story. So we're riding out in the country and I see these cows, a whole bunch of them. I go, oh my gosh. I'm all excited to see them in person, right? Yeah, I used to collect the stamps when I was a kid. You bought what seemed like 100 cows. I love looking at stamps from. I do too. I do too. There's something very interesting about that. And then the foreign stamps that have American actors or actresses or different people from America on a foreign stamp. You know, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we're in the we're in the country. I see the cows. I make them stop. I don't want to stop. I said, stop the car. I want to go over and see the cows. So I get out the cows. I get out of the car, and he's just sitting there. You know, he just wants to leave, right? And so I get out. I go, hey, moo-moos, like an idiot. Hey, moo-moos. And all of a sudden, the cows all line up, and I'm like out of my mind. I go, look, they're lining up for me. Oh my gosh. I did not know anything about the fact that the milking cows, yeah, they're going to line up. They hear a human voice. They're ready to get milked. I guess they wanted me to jump the fence and just get on a little. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that as long as I live. Oh. Yes, I do. Matter of fact, she's all lit up over there. Hold on. I got a lamp over here. I'm trying to light the room up. But you see, she's right there. there's one of them right there. You see? Yeah, my son left his left that TV there. I don't turn it on. I don't really need a television. The only thing about it is it would be cool to cast YouTube onto that, using that as a monitor. That would be the only use I would have for it. But Jessica packed the universal remote of the remote, and I need to get a universal remote. Then I can have access to that television. You know, I says, "Are you gonna take that?" He says, "No, I can't." You know, he couldn't take it. You know, and I can't exactly mail that, so I don't know. He says just to keep it here, so it's here. I suppose if he ever came by, drove here, because I still have a few of his belongings there. Just a moment, please. Be right back. I'm coming. All right, I'm coming. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to see what you see. I actually found this. This one is from Argentina, right? And they're stuck together. I don't know how. I mean, these here are actually from my childhood. And somehow, some way, in all of my junk, I couldn't believe it. I was in shock when I seen it. But just to show you that, yes, I used to collect these. I had a photo album, you know, the old fashioned with the plastic, you peel the plastic back, which I then found was a mistake because the lines behind the plastic could be kind of cast onto the back of the stamp. But yeah, I used to do that. And some folks may say that's kind of whatever, but I always found the photos, the artwork, the photos very interesting. And in Gail, you probably know this, the different shapes. There's actually triangle shaped stamps, you know. There's stamps that are rectangle, very thin and rectangle shaped. No, not in particular, but I was thinking about that because I think that they're very beautiful. It would have to be that I would find more of those. They've got that's one thing I will say for this area. They do have a lot of little shops, antique shops, secondhand shops along this long strip. And Timmy took me. And they've got a lot of old stuff. Let me back this up and bring her over here. But like I say, if I could find, you see how she's holding that instrument, and then in the other one's holding a different one. I'm just of the belief that there's more of these. I think there's more, and that was just a broken set that happened to be they were selling at that time. and in that store. But they have stuff like from the 18s, you know, old tools. There's some men are into collecting tools, very old-fashioned tools from way back, I mean, from a long time ago. There's people that are collecting a lot of different things. And like Covert Yankee was saying with the toys, I'm telling you, and a lot of those toys are very valuable. Really? In the 60s? Did he bring stuff back? That had to be very interesting if he brought things back. If y'all ever watched the Antique Roadshow, I bet you some of you have. I remember the one episode, there was this very plain looking table and it was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm looking at the table, it's just a very plain looking table. And the twins they have on there that know about antiques, they look at the hardware, the shape of the legs, they turn it over, they know if it's being held together by certain nails or if it's just put together. If you've seen the corners of a wood, let's say in a dresser, you know, how the drawer is put together, and you'll see how the corners come together like this in the old school way. They can kind of tell by looking how it's glued together and put together the value, the age of the thing. And I still find that amazing. It's an amazing skill to have. It takes years to be able to understand all of that. No, you don't want to get rid of that. As a matter of fact, you need to do some research about that. I know there are people, who do the people call that? They, goodness gracious, they know the value of these things. I can't think of what you call those people. There is a fee depending. Dovetail method? I've never heard of that. What's that about? Appraisals. That's an appraiser, you know. There you go. And then you got to have it not only appraised, and I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, Covert Yankee, but you have to think about the you know, let's say you get something appraised and, you know, this is appraised and it's appraised at $5,000. You got to get that insurance, you know, and get that insurance on the items. Thank you, Gail. Yes, an appraiser. Things from '64 Olympics in Tokyo. Sometimes, I don't know how good, you can actually Google certain things. You can Google, but there's certain things that you may have that may be so rare, you're not going to find them there, but you can find similar items. You can type in as best as you can the description of your item. Type that in. And then usually, you know, you find a bunch. Like a lot of folks, like I told you about my older sister, she goes to Salvation Army, she goes to Goodwill, she goes to yard sales, she finds things, older things, antique items, books, especially books. She really does her research, goes to the library, goes online and does a lot of reading. And then she puts all these items up for sale. And she does pretty good with this thing as to supplement her. Well, she's doing really good with her income anyway, but to supplement her income even further, that's what she does. And like I say, she's about to retire, so I'm sure she's going to go whole hog right into that. There's all kinds of ways to make money if you really sit back and think about it, especially with something that you enjoy. It's a pleasure. It doesn't feel like an obligation. It feels like a pleasure when you are, you know, when you are just into, whether you do quilting or whether you do knitting or whether you do woodworking or, like, you know, you have certain set collections. You can make a pretty good income at it. You do your research about it, and you can make a pretty good income at it. I don't care if it's an extra $100 a month, $300 a month. Guess what? That's a bill right there, or that's something that you pretend doesn't exist and you put away and don't think about that income until you get older. Then guess what? Get yourself on a cruise and sit back for all those years of doing that. All those years of working, sit back on a cruise. Oh, yes, indeed. Go to London, go to Paris, go to places you've always dreamed of as a child, if you're able to get around. I don't know if that'll ever happen for me, but I've always wanted to go to Paris. Yes, the typical tourist. I've never been on a cruise. I've always wanted to go on a cruise. Yes. Every time one of y'all says something, I'll go get it. I got a couple of little things I'll show you. I'll show you Covert Yankee. But in English, I think I might have shown these before. Hold on, give me a second. I'll be right there. I know where everything is pretty much. Get her. I'm coming. This place is so small, I can get something right quick. Okay. Let us show you the little items that I have. Probably should have showed these a long time ago. One item I actually won, and when I was in North Carolina. You talking about Star Wars? I have this. This is the Star Wars collector timepiece. It actually has a watch in there. CPO's face flips open to reveal the time. Includes Millennium Falcon collector watch case. So I have this. I think when the news... Oh, here we go. Let's just do there. There's the back of it. But anyways, let me go slowly so you can see the thing. And you being a collector of things, I bet you know exactly what this is. But anyways, when it first came out, I don't even know how many years ago. And I'm told you keep packaging's a little bit squished right there, but basically never been open. Oh, did my grandson want to get to this? I'm like, no. But yeah, I have this one. And going along, I love the movie Lost in Space. And when they came out with the new movie, yes, I did. It's kind of dusty. I went in. Remember this guy right here? Remember him? Still in the box. The box is a little bit squished. But I just had to have it. Yes, indeed. In the original box, like I say, the box is kind of squished right there and stuff like that. But you can imagine my grandson literally had his hands up. I'm like, no. I really like this one. The other thing, it has nothing to do with toys. I'm 58 years old and I still love Barbies and I still love toys. Yes, I do. They can laugh at me all they want, but this has nothing to do with a toy. I'm going to take this out and show it to you. When I was in Carolina, they had a radio station. They had actually one of the NASCAR drivers with one of his cars. They had it on a display turning around, literally, and he was like, he was cranking it and letting smoke come out of the back and that kind of thing, you know. And then they had a contest. So I filled my name out. They put it in a drum and they were circling it around. And I left. I didn't think anything about it. And then my phone rang the next day and told me that I won. What did Granny win? I won a car. A little, what do you call this? I'll show it to you. I keep it, everything, all the paperwork is in here. And it's autographed by the guy that was there. There you go. I managed to hang on to this thing. I've had it for I don't know how many years. Okay, night, Gail. I think this is number 88, and I don't think. Yeah, she's connected. I'm not taking it out. Can I take it out or no? No, I cannot. Yep, and it is autographed. Right there. See that right there? That is his autograph. And I won this car. Sure did. I can't remember. Yeah, I think you have to unscrew that right there. But let me turn it around so you can see it better. There you go. But I won that in a radio contest in North Carolina. And look at the attention to detail. Even if you turn it this way, you can see how it has the netting like they have. Number 88, it's got the advertisements on there, the National Guard, Mountain Dew. It's got the amp. But yeah, Grandma won a contest. And my ex-boyfriend at the time, Mr. John, he is a huge NASCAR fan. And he's just kind of looking at me with puppy eyes. I says, I'm not giving this to you. I'm so new. He wanted, he's like, oh, let's take it. He was all being kind of rough with it, trying to take it out of the box. I said, listen to me. Take it out of the box carefully. He wanted to take it all the way out. He wanted to unhook it and everything like that. Oh, no, I'm not going to take it out. I never have. I think it's, I don't think it's really worth anything. I think it's probably online worth $40 maybe more now. That was years ago. But as you can see, I'm a little bit of a nut job about trying to keep original packaging. That's very, I just naturally, I don't know why, I just did. I mean, I'm talking about all the paperwork and everything. You know what I'm saying? Grandma does not play around. I knew, and I'm a little ignorant when it comes to certain set things, but I knew enough. And I haven't even opened, this is like a little cloth. I haven't even, you can see the tape there. I haven't even opened the cloth. So I keep it in here. I keep it in that thing there. And even at the radio station, they're like, oh, okay, I showed them my ID, and the guy is handing it to me, but he's got this. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but he's had this look like, geez, I was hoping she wouldn't show up. Like he had this look like he's giving it to me, but he didn't want to. It was weird. But anyways, yeah, I just entered my name and walked away, and then I got a phone call the next day that I had won this thing. And what else do I have in here? This has nothing. This may not be of any interest to anybody, but this book here I found in a little mini attic in my old house, and this book is over 100 years old. My older sister would love to get a hold of it, and it's a school district. It says School History of the United States. School History of the United States. And within it, I'll show you some other little things. I need to take this out rather carefully. These are very fragile. Yeah, and then if you go in here, it's kind of falling apart a little bit. This is, It's got a couple of names written in it, like people that owned it. The cover's just all, you know, kind of messed up. But it just shows you various maps and information about the United States of America. And I'm trying to see, I can't. Yeah, a school history of the United States. And I don't know what edition or anything. I'm not really that savvy about these things. But I forget, somewhere in here it says the age of the book. It was in better shape. I actually handed it to my son to take to school with trembling hands. And the teacher said with the book, she gave me sent a note with my son saying to be very careful with it, that it was very valuable from her perspective as a teacher. And then also up there in the attic, I found these Christmas cards or postcards. And you can look at the back and you can tell by how the ink is. You remember the old ink? Look at the stamp. That is a 1-cent stamp. See that? A 1-cent stamp. The car is Covert Yankee. The car is worth about 100 with the autograph 200 to 250. Oh my goodness, really? Dale Jr. just retired. So in a couple of years, it could be 300 to 400. Well, you know what? Thank you so very much. It's not by accident, Covert Yankee, that I ran into you. You understand? It's not. You're a blessing. Thank you so very much. And yeah, this is actually a postcard. And it says, I think, 1928. If I can get that close enough to the camera. Look at the stamp there. I think that's 1920. Not 1928? Yeah, you see 928. Rochester, New York. And there's the car. That's the address. That's not the address that I lived at in Rochester. But you can tell that's the old school pen. Why don't you play us a visit someday? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You can see the note there. But up in the there was a little crawl space in our house. Yes, a 1-cent stamp. It used to cost 1 cent to mail things, honey. See that? And I think the card, but having it stamped like that, I think that stamp might be kind of valuable in some way. You never know. And the only other thing that I have here is May 1936. It's a Christmas card that was up there as well. To wish you all of the joys of Christmas and every happiness in the new year. May 1936. Here's the outside of the card. You can see there's a little bit of mold damage to the back of it. And let me just keep my hand still. And then you open her up, and there are the words. I'm sorry. And there is the date, 1936. So yeah, Grandma's got a few things that I managed to hang on to. I just, I'm thinking that perhaps I should put these in a frame or something. Do you want to hear a sad story that will make the connection to the car even more odd, if that's the right word? Yes, I do, Covert Yankee. Go ahead. Y'all chime in at any time. Yeah, the book and this were up there. This is a school book, someone's school book. I love the handwriting too. It's old school. You can tell it was with the pen, you know, the what do you call that? They had the feather at the end of it, and you dip. Back in the day, they didn't have a regular pen like this. Yeah, of course you all know that. They didn't have this. A fountain pen. A fountain pen, I think it was called. And you'd have an inkwell. And then you would dip it in, and a certain amount of ink would come up into it. And then you would write, and then it would literally run out, and you'd have to dip it again. And that's how it was back in the day. Can you envision back in the day? There's some people actually had oil lamps. There was no internet. There was no boom, 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 boom music. People had their fireplaces. Some people cooked on their fireplaces, or they had stoves that you had to put wood into, coal into. You actually had the cast iron ovens, the big cast iron things with the tops. And they would cook their stews and things on a fireplace back in the day. Make a big beef stew. Some men would go out and hunt, and they'd get venison, and they'd actually have a root cellar. Do y'all know I think y'all know what a root cellar is, where you keep your potatoes and your carrots, your root vegetables down there, keep them cool. Yeah. I love light. Do you want to? Yeah. What about the story? The story, Covert Yankee. I love light. You worked for Chrysler in the 90s, 2000s. Wow. Oh wow. Yeah, that was so sad when they lost it. When he lost it. When we lost him. Chrysler in the late 1990s. Daytona, 2001, when Dale Jr.'s father died because the Dodge had NASCAR team at the time. Isn't that weird? This kind of gives you weird goosebumps. You're talking about toys. I'm showing you my toys, the little things, and then I show you the car, and then here you work there. Oh my gosh. That is something else. But yeah, I think everybody has certain set little things. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people. Like we say, we have keepsakes and certain things that we collect and stuff like that. I also have I'm trying to figure out where I put that thing. I got something else I want to show you. But as I'm saying that, I'm running in my head where I put the thing. I got to really think about that. Give me a moment. I keep walking away, but just give me a moment. For goodness sakes. I'm coming. All right, kids. I've got a couple of other little things to show you. Now, there's baseball player Cal Ripken Jr. And remember when he hit 2,000, what was it? 2,131 home runs, was it? Something like that? Well, QVC that same night had a sale. Was it QVC? And they were selling the Cal Ripken card, a gold foil card. Okay, Dale. Chevy. But it was a big deal at the time for Dodge to return to NASCAR. I'm sure you heard. Yes, I've heard of Richard Petty. That's where I got the nickname Yankee. Oh, okay. So this is the record-breaking 2,131 consecutive game streak. September 6, 1995. You see that? Let's turn, that's the back. And here's the front. Cal Ripken Jr. This is a unique dimensional 23 karat all gold foil sculpture trading card highlighting baseball Iron Man Cal Ripken Jr. commemorative issue, each card individually numbered. Let's hold that up for a second. Each card, and here is the card. Here's the certificate of authenticity. I went on to QVC that night and I said to myself, this is a you know, history making thing. So when I saw it on QVC, I think I made it paid $20 for this thing. I can't remember. But I want to tilt this in such a way that you can see it. I'm looking at this camera to see that you can see that, but you can see the writing that says the record breaking. And then now, hold on a second. You got to be very careful. Okay. I'm going to take that out. Okay, because I love y'all, I'm going to be very careful. This is maybe the second or third time I've ever taken it out. But there it is. Isn't it beautiful? Ever so carefully, just gently let it land. But you just, I don't know, you just never know. You know? I told my son, you know, if you hear I've keeled over, you better hurry up over here and just come down. I don't have much, but you better come get these things. So yeah, I keep everything together in the original box. It's very important if you're going to purchase something like this to keep the original packaging. That makes it all the more valuable from what I'm understanding. So I keep this, and you can actually see where it says Ripken or whatever in here. This is actually the original envelope that was within the envelope. Hi, Joyful Gigi. Thank you, Joyful Gigi. I don't know how oh yeah, I've got this too. This is Michael Jordan. Now, my son, it really upset me. He had the Michael Jordan, remember, I think he played baseball at one point. Do you remember that? Anyways, my son actually had a card, but he gave it away or whatever. My son had a card, and he gave it away. I'm just like, but anyways, I've had this for quite some time. There's a young man on the back. I have no idea where I got this from. I absolutely could not tell you. And then this one I found. This is just very, very recent. Nelson Agholor. I don't know who Nelson is. Perhaps one of you do. Seattle Seahawks. There's his stats on the back. There's his photograph. I was walking one day, and this was on the ground. I kid you not. I'm walking. And I look down and I go, what's that? When my car broke down and I was walking home from work, remember that? This was on the ground, just on the street. And I said, you know something? It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I picked it up and put it in my bag and kept walking. Then I found this, oh no, this is for the other thing. Got to put that back on the other thing, on this thing. I want to mess that up. But yeah, thank you for that. You're right about that. Okay. Yeah, and my son used to have a whole collection of I can't think of what you call that. It was a everybody was into this thing years ago where they collected these Pokemon. He had Pokemon cards. I spent a lot of money on those Pokemon cards. He had them for a bunch of years, and he turned around and just gave them away to his sister. He said he got bored with them, to his stepsister. You know, I don't know what she did with them. I said, son, that's something you should have held on to. Pardon me, I just want to tuck this in. But yeah, those are just some of the little things. And I realize this vlog is very unexciting, but I'm still glad to be here with you. Because you're my psychologist, and I need someone to talk to. Aren't I being selfish? But anyways, I digress. Okay, if it's 11 o'clock here, that means it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's 18 of you here. Thank you so very much for hanging in here with me. Thank you so very much. I do appreciate it. This is where I come to get my therapy, if you will. It's 2:12. Covert Yankee. I think I'm being awfully selfish. I should have came on 3 hours earlier. But thank goodness it's Saturday. Excuse me a moment. So I think, considering the hour, that I should say bye-bye just for now. I hope you don't mind me sharing. I thank you so much, Covert Yankee, for sharing about Dale Earnhardt Jr. and for, looking up the value of that car. Yeah, it's been very interesting. Mr. Covert Yankee. I want you all to take very good care of yourselves. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for being my friend. Take care, everybody. Please get some rest.